individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
Hey, everybody. That's right. Another Wednesday night, and it's The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. That doesn't sound right. So just to let you guys know, Kimberly is not going to be on tonight. Her husband slipped and took a fall, and he's got a little fracture, and I just felt it was better that she take care of him. Now, I wasn't supposed to be on tonight. It was supposed to be Kim, and but I didn't get because of that. I decided that I think it's best that I do that. So, where am I at? Because I don't have internet yet at my house. I am at the SJL Studios in lovely Columbia Heights, Minnesota. That's right. I'm actually at Stephanie Langer's house doing a show with her tonight, and we are going to talk about empaths, vortexes, and portals. Oh, my. Steph, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Jerry. Thanks for having me on. Third night this week, I'm taking over Para X. Can I just say?
That is so true. That's so true. And you all know who Stephanie is, of course. She's the host of The Gathering. The Gathering. The Gathering. She's also the host of He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show.
Yep.
Which if you guys haven't heard that yet, it's on Sunday nights from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she's not afraid to call bullhickey on stuff.
No,
so
I'm not.
That's the thing I like about that show. And there's not really that many shows around. Now, also, too, I wanted to say to everybody that I know I'm a huge skeptic. I have been getting tons of emails from people saying, Jerry, you don't believe in nothing. I do believe in stuff. But the thing is, let's keep it real. I mean, sure, the paranormal is vast and is just huge and everything else and stuff, and all sorts of things are happening. But when it comes to Bigfoot, when it comes to UFOs, when it comes to ghosts, let's be real with the stuff that's there. I mean, some of the stuff out there, the videos and the claims from people, I don't think Bigfoot eats KFC and goes around the woods and leaves little black rocks for people, all greasy. I don't believe it. But anyway, that's just the way that is. I'm getting the stop it
Well,
thing right now.
Here's the thing. We can all be skeptical, Jerry, but really, we don't really know, do we? We don't know a whole lot about any of those things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But to not show any kind of proof
Yes.
or to say anything like that other than say is, I don't need proof. I know what I've seen.
Yes.
That's
I
kind of
understand.
unbelievable. And it makes the people that are researchers, such as your team, Squatchers, seem like you should just be out selling jewelry, And that has happened in Minnesota.
Not with our group, it hasn't, but yes.
No, it has not.
Yes.
No, but
Yes.
other groups there has. So anyway, so this is the show. This is it. This is happening. This is live.
Live.
So, live, yeah. And you know what? Even tonight, you guys, there's a special guest that may come on the show. The ghost kitty herself may come out and say a few words or step on a few keys. So I'm waiting for that.
Little Bobo Kitty of the Gathering. She has not yet made an appearance on He Said, She Said, though, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I think she's given that a while because you've only had, what, 3 shows?
4 shows.
Oh, have you had 4?
Yeah, this will be our 5th coming on Sunday. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
So we started with the new year on He Said, She Said, and we've been having a really good time so far. So, join us on Sunday nights because it's fun.
Okay, no, there, Dover just said it completely perfect in the chat
Yeah.
room. He says, I am not skeptical of things that are paranormal, but I'm extremely skeptical of others are trying to pass off on others. That is so true.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Though I, so, yeah, that's
I get it. Yeah, and as Squatchers, I know one of my girls always says, she wrote a blog that's fabulous. You can read it on the Squatchers website. But what she said is, what are we trying to prove? And we always say, well, nothing, but maybe to ourselves. And of course we always get. We're all paranormal investigators, most of us. So yeah, we're always second guessing everything we think. And if we can't second guess it, then we feel it must be the real thing.
That's true. No,
Yeah.
that could be true. That could be true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, if somebody was to say that, Bigfoot likes to lay around in cool, swampy water
Well,
in the
that's
middle
what-
of summertime and to cool himself off, okay, where's proof of this? It's an accusation of a cryptid being, a mythical being so far,
Right.
and it's like, let's have proof of this.
Right.
Don't be telling people that,
Right.
So
It's true, but humans like to do that, so why wouldn't they? And they're all hairy, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's why they smell. Maybe
that
because they're
could be.
hanging out in those swamps. Those swamps kind of smell.
Well, take a look at it this way. This is going to be gross. This is going to be really
Okay,
gross.
well, maybe we shouldn't go there then.
Okay,
Jerry.
well, no. You have a woman and or a guy, and they've got armpit hairs. That stinks. But if you shave them, it doesn't smell so bad, right?
Well, I
So
don't.
if
Okay. Woo! Do 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 do. Bing.
well, I thought it was kind of funny.
Well,
You're
I
speechless.
really don't know what to say to that, but okay. Let's move on.
Okay, we got our first question. Steve B., what do you think forms portals?
Energy.
Energy, okay. Energy is a good one. It could also energy when you're walking through the woods or even walking through a house and stuff like that. You walk into a certain place that the energy may react with your energy, causing fear, chaos. Can even bend the light. So when you're looking at something, it could get blurry, and then you're going to get a little bit more panicky, and it can grow from there. Now, some, like I know, Steph, you were saying that being out in the woods, that sorry, I can't look at the chat room when I'm trying to talk serious.
So then don't look at it.
Dover just said
I've got it going on. I'm
maybe
watching
I should
it.
shave my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet stink. Okay, maybe that would make them not stink anymore. I don't know. Maybe they would smell like flowers then. I don't know for sure.
Okay, but anyway, so let's. Squirrel. Was that a squirrel? Anyway. So yeah, no. Steph, tell me what you think about in the woods compared to into a house.
Well, in the woods is all natural, right? But there is if you're sensitive to energies, you can feel energy out there everywhere. What Squatchers have found when we find these stick structures, sometimes when we find arches, and Jerry, you should put that picture on of those 3 intertwined arches. That was a crazy portal or a vortex. I'm very sensitive to energies. I'm very clairvoyant and intuitive. And so I, sense these all the time. And what we've found as Squatchers is we find a lot of energy out in the woods, but every once in a while we find a stick structure that we believe is not made by humans and may very well be made by Sasquatch. Every once in a while we find one that has all this energy underneath it. And my personal belief is that Bigfoot is interdimensional. Now, does that mean he's using these structures and these portals to come to this dimension? I don't really know. Until I see it with my own eyes, I won't know. what's interesting about these stick structures and portals beneath them is that sometimes there's no energy there. Like we have one out in our research area that we actually just found last year, and it was last fall. It was very, very dense with energy. Made my heart pound like I was having a heart attack. Cindy felt like her eyes were being pulled out of her head. Our other girl, Katie, felt like, she had a different reaction. And then all of a sudden, we were out there overnight during a full moon, and there was nothing there. It was like the energy disappeared. And so we've been there a couple of times since, went to that same stick structure, nothing. And the last time we were there a couple of weeks ago, I felt like there was a buzzing going on, like maybe it's ramping up again. So we're documenting all this because it's very interesting. It's very interesting phenomena. And it'll be interesting to, as we go along and all this is documented, if we go there in another couple of months and it's just fully charged again and, my heart feels like it's beating out of my chest. So I don't really know. It's very interesting. It's not observable. It's a porthole. So Dover is asking, is the porthole a real observable thing or is it a feeling? It is a portal, not a porthole. It's like a portal of energy. So you can't see it, but you can certainly feel it. And even people who aren't sensitive can feel this.
I don't agree with that. The reason is because, again, a portal or a vortex can actually bend light. So if you're within one and the light is bending, that's going to make you more confused. So stepping out of it to get yourself together. So yeah, actually you can observe it. You can see it. The feeling is going to be huge from that.
Yeah.
Let's go back. There's, let's see now, let's go with the first one. What type of energy forms portals? That could be anything. That could be the Earth itself. It could be the gravitational pull from, or even sun flares. It can do all that kind of stuff can cause a portal. Could it also be paranormal? Now, paranormal, a lot of people, when you say paranormal, the first they think of is a house, a building, or graveyard or something like that. It can happen out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
You can be, as a matter of fact, Lauren Coleman, I remember when he said to you, when you said that something was lobbing something at you, he said it actually could be paranormal activity of, like poltergeists or something launching things at you. That is a possibility.
It is a possibility. And, we've found a lot of paranormal activity in the woods when we're out there. We've seen ghosts, we've seen spirits, we've seen all kinds of things. So, paranormal is everywhere, not just in a house. It's out in the wilderness too. And, we come across it quite often, But energy is everywhere. So one of the questions was, what is energy? Energy is everything. Energy is thoughts. Energy is what we're made of. Energy belongs to the earth and to Mother Nature and to all the star systems. It's what we're made of, right? It encompasses everything.
And, actually they say that a lot of, believe it or not, of nurturing energy and stuff like that comes from a female.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I believe that Mother Earth actually is the mother.
Yes.
So giving off certain things. It's like if you've ever gone out in the woods, you've gone to a tree. I know Steph's got a tree. I have a tree too at my old work and stuff. Actually, you can go to any tree, but sometimes you just feel comfortable. You put your hands on that tree. Now, if it's springtime, summertime, or fall, take off your shoes, take off your socks, put your feet into the dirt, grab onto that tree, and you can actually hug it or just put your forehead up to it, and you're making a connection. And that connection can cause positive energy. Positive energy could make vortexes also, along with not just vortexes, but with portals too. Now, can things actually travel through it? It can. So vortexes and portals are pretty much same thing, only different.
Yeah, it's the same thing, only different. But yeah, I think vortexes are a little bit different in that they're usually bigger, right? And they can travel more. Like we have said down at Walcott, for example, we feel there's a vortex at the old baby cemetery. There's a big one there. And if you get inside that vortex, you can't see. So you're right. So the light can. So that's a true vortex. What I'm seeing in the woods is more of a portal, I think. And the vortex down at Walcott Mills, for example, if you're inside there and it's active, you cannot see what's going on around you. I mean, how many times have we been out there and people can't see us and we're 20 feet away? And someone once said to me, maybe they're inside the old hospital that used to be there, or it used to be a dormitory or something. And who knows? It's interesting, though, that is definitely a vortex.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, if right now on the Travel Channel, there's a show that's going around that's called Fear the Woods. Now, hold on. Fear the Woods. Now, we were on there's 2 episodes on Fear the Woods. So Fear the Woods is first, and the next one is called Phantom Revenge. Or no, I'm sorry.
It's both the same. Phantom Revenge is the name.
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
something like that. Yeah, but anyway, when that happened, that was a true thing that actually really happened. Now, they did kind of embellish just a little bit and stuff,
Right.
but it was so weird because that day, I know there was a vortex there, and the weird thing is that I could feel something there. It started actually making me angry, and that's pretty much why I started provoking. And the next thing you know, it's like, all heck is breaking loose, and it was pretty scary stuff. And it can make you think things too. So being in a vortex can really mess you up. I mean, mess up your head, and especially with if you're going through a vortex and in a portal too. I don't think you said a portal you think is a little stronger.
I think a portal is something that comes and goes. I think that it's probably used as my belief is that it's used as a transportation, almost like Scotty beam me up, can be used that way, and that's why I think we find them in amongst stick structures and arches.
Very good. Yeah, I believe that too. I really do believe it. Yeah, there's a lot more, and plus also too, when you're out in the woods, and if you're walking around, you got big trees, and you're looking up and stuff. Other than a headache, that's soon to follow if you keep looking up. If you look straight on, it's not going to be as bad. But it can create. You can create a vortex or a portal while you're out there, and it's something that you really need to. You really need to watch there.
You do. You do. Sherry's asking, what if you reach into a portal? Well, the portal that we have encountered out at our research area that's underneath the big stick structure, I went right underneath the stick structure, and I felt like I was seriously going to have a heart attack, and we got out of there fast, and Cindy felt like her eyes were being pulled out of her head. But we could feel its energy from 10 or 20 feet away. We knew it was there, and so they're big, and what do? I don't know. There's other beings that could come through there too besides Bigfoot. I'm thinking little people, and
Right. Now, my question for you. I'm echoing something fierce. Something happened here. So my question to you is, when you're in that portal or the vortex and stuff like that, and you start, thinking panic mode, what if you were to calm yourself and try to make it work for you? Have you ever tried that?
No, but I should do that. I know. Others have asked me that. But it's kind of like flight, right? Because you're afraid, because you feel like I'm going to have a heart attack, right? That's how I get it. Like I said, others in our group have different feelings. Some get instant headaches. Some feel like their eyes are being pulled out of their heads. So it just depends on who you are and how it affects you, right? And then I've also heard that you're supposed to not go through a portal unless you've asked permission. And if you don't receive that permission, you should never go through the portal or the arch. For the archways is another thing.
Well, that to me all goes to the same thing, is that when you're out in the woods and stuff like that, I mean, the big thing is offering tobacco.
Yep.
Offer tobacco to make sure that the spirits know that you're there not to harm anything, but to check out stuff and just be, just research stuff.
Yes.
You know,
And we always do that.
that's good. That's good. You definitely
We
should.
always offer tobacco, and we always say a few prayers to the nature spirits and Mother Earth and everyone who's out there. So, yeah, we do. We're very respectful. You know, we love the trees, so I'm always hugging my trees, you know.
Tree hugger. So here's something that I know of Stephanie is that, you know, I always tell Steph when you're out there in the woods and stuff, you should actually sit down and listen to the trees. Okay? And seriously, listen to the wind, listen to the grass, listen to all that stuff. But you can't because you hum.
Mm-hmm.
Every time on an investigation, we'd be on one, and somebody, you know, would come on up to me and say, "Okay, I don't want Steph to be with me," and I'm like, "Why?" She hums, and it's like, you do.
I don't think I do that anymore because none of the girls have told me that.
Ask them.
I
They're
will.
probably too afraid to say
No,
anything.
they would say, Katie would say, "Shut up, Steph." You know she
No,
would.
she wouldn't. She would just kind of go.
Okay, whatever. Can't help it.
Anyway, so Steve B is saying, I think we should not mess with portals. How can someone close a portal?
Can't. It has to be closed by the person, by whatever being made it or the energies that made it. I don't think we can do that.
Well, I disagree with that. Sorry, we're doing a he said, she said thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I disagree with that because I think that, Steph, if the next time that you're in a portal or a vortex and stuff, keep your head together and try to close it on your own and to move it.
Why would I want to do that?
See how
Obviously, there's
you
a
can do
reason
it.
there. Obviously, there's a reason why it's there.
Right. But if you move it or temporary, just, you know, place it into a different area or something like that.
Maybe on a paranormal investigation, but I wouldn't do that in the woods.
I would do that in the woods because paranormal, again, can be anywhere.
That's true.
You know, so to close it up, to see if you can close it up, maybe it's going to come back. Maybe it's just a moment thing or something like that. You should at least give it a try. You owe it to fellow researchers to try.
No, I'm not doing that, especially where I know Bigfoot's been. I would not do that. Mm-mm.
But who's to know? Okay, no, here's
You
another
can sense
thing.
Bigfoot there, Jerry. You can sense him.
Right, I understand that.
Yeah.
I've seen the guy. I know what he looks
Yeah.
like. That's why people get so mad at
Exactly.
me when it comes to how critical I am on videos that they have about Bigfoot because, you know, still the Patterson. I'm sorry, I'm going
Here
to
we
the
go with
Patterson.
Patterson film
Yep,
again.
the Patterson. I've never seen a butt move like that on any kind of an animal. The thigh, the face just doesn't look, you know, like anything. It's crazy. So Steve's saying my spray does nothing to a portal.
No.
We
It's too
don't. Do we
powerful.
know yet?
No.
No, we
Maybe
don't.
you should take some. So maybe when you next time you go to Walcott Mills, you should spray it on that vortex that's there. See what happens.
If the vortex opens up,
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
you guys, it's funny. The first time that vortex opened up, one of our investigators was bringing a group of people. There was 10 people, and she was walking them through this cemetery. And as she's walking the whole area and coming back around, we're doing an EVP session, and I can see her plain as day. And she's like, I don't know where they're at. I can hear them, but I can't see them. And I said, May, can you keep it down? We're doing an EVP session over here. And she said, I think I just heard Jerry. And I took a D-cell or a 6 D-cell flashlight, a mag light. I turned it on and put it directly in her eyes. She was maybe 30 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't see that. She said, I know I can hear him, but I can't see him. So finally, she come walking out of it, and the girl that was behind her had one of my infrared cameras. And when I took it from her the next day and took a look at it, you can hear May talking. You can hear her say, I can't see him, but I can hear him. But you can't see anything past May. It's black. And that's not what infrared is supposed to be able to do. So we've had a thing with that. We also had one where Casey is on a voice recorder. She's on a voice recorder. She's going to make a phone call. She runs back to the car. A truck comes through. We see the truck. She doesn't, but yet the noise is not on her voice recorder.
Yeah.
Which I thought was strange.
And she couldn't hear us. She couldn't hear us because we were in that vortex and she was on the road. Right. So, yeah, there's lots of, we should go down and do a little research on that vortex down there. I don't want to go to the rest of Walcott Mills, but I would go there because it's definitely an interesting place.
Okay, so Dover says, I've done over 60 investigations. I have never come across anything I would consider demonic or never came across a portal. Now, we're not saying that portals are demonic whatsoever.
Oh, no.
We have done demonic cases before, but, a portal, some of them are natural. Are some opened up by people? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it with a Ouija board.
Yeah, Ouija board. You can do it with a, what do you call those things on a string? And
Oh, yeah. I can't think. I have one in the other room. It's
a pendulum.
A pendulum. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just don't believe in pendulums. He also says documented many strange things, though, which is great. Dover, I'd love to talk to you. The Patterson film is amazing. That's your belief. And there's a lot of people that just don't believe in the Patterson film, which I don't whatsoever. Steve says, I definitely found one in Bemidji, and my compass did not move normally. My millimeter did pick up as a strange signal. Now, that is one thing. A compass is perfect for that because in a portal or in a vortex, it's going to spin everywhere because you don't. It's almost like you're walking into a what would you call it, Steph? Like a wind tunnel. It's pretty much like a wind tunnel because
it's magnetic, right?
It's
magnetic. So
magnetic.
much energy, makes it go all over.
Exactly, and I think that's pretty amazing, Steve. Yeah, that's we've run across that stuff before. So one of the things. I mean, like I don't believe in millimeters. A lot of people do.
I have a millimeter, Steve. I like my millimeter.
I have. The thing is with millimeter that I've seen is that 3 millimeters all give 3 different readings. And they're all within 20 feet of each other, and I just don't believe in them. But a compass is amazing. That's it doesn't matter what kind of a compass it is, as long as it's a real compass. So, gosh, I got the hiccups.
Yeah. So. Interesting. The Patterson film is amazing. So we're not going to go into that because we talk about this on He Said, She Said all the time because my co-host is an absolute believer of the Patterson film and thinks, Gimlin is just a god. And then there's Steffi who's like, don't think so.
Yeah, I got
So every guest we have on towards the end of the show, we always ask them what they think of the Patterson film. So at any rate,
yeah. Well, actually, it's time for a break. We're going to be right back in just like 2 or 3 minutes, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
You haunted by shadow people in the middle of the night?
Do you secretly love all things creepy and spooky, enjoying ghost stories and horror fiction from the best storytellers?
Do you have a true ghost experience you want to share, but no one will believe you?
If yes, listen to the professionals on What Are You Afraid Of? Horror Paranormal Show Friday nights at 9 p.m. on Para X Radio and at www.whatareyouafraidofpodcast.com.
What Are You Afraid Of on Para X?
Our creepy and demented hosts are on call to provide you with all your spooky needs with true ghost stories, interviews, indie music, and new horror fiction. We are ready to scare you.
Para X.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock for Dark Sun Rising on the Para X Radio Network.
Explore the darkness. Find out what goes bump in the night. Did you hear that? Did you see see that? What's that bright light in the sky? Oh, we so need to investigate.
Calling all witches and sensitives.
Explore the paranormal.
With host
Shauna
and Vicky
from Geeks Paranormal.
Wednesdays
At 9 Eastern.
8 Central.
Let's explore. On ParaXRadio.com.
All right, this is Jerry. We're back. I am the host of the Calling, and if you are you want to check out our website, because we post all of our shows weekly every Thursday night by about 5 or 6 o'clock. You can actually go to www.thecallingradioshow.com, and you can see all of our past shows there. If there's a show that you would like to hear about or would like to know something about, or if you'd like to be on the show as a guest, we would love to have you. There is you can click on it on the website, and you can send us an email, and I will get right back to you on that. Or you can just email us direct at thecallingmn@gmail.com. So also, too, there's a couple shows you got to know about. On Tuesday nights from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to 9 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is The Gathering. Ladies of The Gathering, Steph and Heidi, do a great job at the metaphysical table, and they sit around and jaw about all sorts of stuff. Also, that's on every Tuesday night. Now, on Sunday nights, it's the He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show, and that gets a little hyped up, or a little wired up and hot at times, and it's awesome.
It is
I
pretty
kind of
wired
like
up.
those kind of shows. So, and Steph is actually the host of both of those shows, and it's good to see. There's a lot of new people in the chat room. That's great. And Ghost Valley, good to see you here. Snooky, as always, you're awesome. Sherry, Geeks Paranormal is the show right after us. You guys should stick around for the Geeks Girls. So, Steph, okay. So what do you think about, like, when you were younger and stuff, were you an empath?
Well, I didn't know that was the term, but yeah.
Right.
And, I think it's carried through families, right? Because for sure my mom was one, although we didn't have a term for that, right? Because she would never go anywhere where there were big crowds. She never went to the Minnesota State Fair with us, for example, because she couldn't handle being amongst all those people, and that was precisely why. I feel the same way when I'm in big crowds, but I have learned how to protect myself from feeling all that craziness. But for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. It's funny about empaths. I mean, some empaths, when they're young, of course, they don't know. And especially back when we were kids, back in the 60s, I'm not going to say exactly when, but you didn't know. And a lot of people thought you were a ball baby because you maybe cried a lot and stuff like that. Or you would worry a lot about things, and then you would go home and it would happen. So there you go. That is pretty much of being an empath. And it used to happen to me all the time. I would know that even before I got home that my brother was there and I was going to have problems. And the first thing he's going to say is look at me and say, "Hey, calf." He used to piss
your
me
brother
off.
was mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. You knew him.
Exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, no, being an empath is, it's interesting because things, and you don't even have to be in the same room.
No.
You can feel them. I felt them miles away one time that there was something wrong at my home, and there was. You can. It's funny too, especially being with an empath, and all of a sudden you both pick up stuff in different places at the same time, and it's like right away, you're like, oh wow, I gotta, get a hold of this person, or I get a hold of my significant other or whatever and stuff like that, to kind of figure out what's going on. So what about you, Steph? I mean,
yeah, well, I think when you're an empath, you pick up on other people's feelings. For example, So you can be perfectly happy, and you can come into an experience, or you can come into a place, somebody's extremely sad, and for some reason, all of a sudden, your mood just takes a huge downswing, and you have no idea why. Well, that's why, because somebody there has that, and you typically find out who it is, and then you try to comfort them. But when you're in big crowds, like, a big event, for example, well, the feelings there are crazy and overbearing, actually. And for those of you who might be empaths and don't know how to control it, I really suggest you maybe take some classes in how to, protect yourself, how to take, bring in your energy field so that it's not touching everyone, so that it doesn't bother you as much, and that kind of thing, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's, being empathic sometimes is a good thing, but then there's other times, like when you're at Walmart, it's not a good thing.
No.
It's
no, you have to, yeah. And when you go to, like, when I go to, when we have these big events, when we're at, like the Paracons and the Cryptid Cons, there's so much energy there, and there's so many feelings, and there's so many people with whatever it is they're feeling at the time. And it's like, it's exhausting. By the end of the day, we're exhausted from protecting ourselves from all those feelings. People don't understand why you get so tired being at these events. Well, that's why, because we can't handle it. We have to protect ourselves, and keeping up that energy, keeping our energy field tight to ourselves takes a lot of energy in and of itself.
That's true. That's definitely true. I know that your sister is an empath, and I don't know about your brother. It kind of skips some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's funny that they say that babies are empathic, where if they are, if they're a true empath and they're developing, that they can be sleeping, and then all of a sudden they wake up, and they want something. They want to eat, or they want attention, or something like that. They start crying, and they stop just as you're about to enter the room, because they know that they're going to get what they ask for.
Mm-hmm. Or, the other thing is, animals are big empaths, right? Because they also know when we're feeling sad, even if we don't act like it. They know if we're sad or if we're happy, or the cats know, they'll come up and cuddle on your lap, and the dogs will come and be by your side. And animals are huge empaths.
Oh, big time. I mean, they know what's happening. I mean, dogs, they judge you before you even come in the
absolutely.
door,
Absolutely. Yeah, and animals are, they're just like an antenna, right? They really are. I feel sorry for them, because they even have it worse than we do.
They do. They really do. Cats, pretty much, they don't care. They're not so wound up. They could love you, or they could leave you,
Yeah, but when you're sick or something, they're right there on you.
Well, that's a little different. That's a healing
that's
type
true.
of thing.
That's
so
true.
That could be still empathic.
But if you're upset, I know that when I'm upset about something, the animals scatter. It's like, oh my God, they're not to be seen again for a while. Duncan goes in his little house, and the cats go into their rooms, and it's just craziness. But
well, that's because you've created a vortex.
That's right.
And they don't want to get sucked into it.
Little whirlwind. Yeah.
The only thing that defies any kind of a portal or a vortex in this house is Casey.
She's a little hurricane all herself. Yeah, human scatter for sure. So Steve, we can still talk about empaths, but Steve was talking about some location where they were using a Ouija board, and at night demons were coming through that portal. Sure, if you're talking about closing down those portals, those are portals that we created ourselves by using that Ouija board. So, yeah, you need to go in there and, do some, I don't really know how you'd close that, Jerry. I mean, you'd have to do some praying and do some smudging and do some, intention is everything. If you say to these, this portal that you're closing it down, and all these demons and spirits need to go away, they will go away. But you have to throw the salt, you have to do the saging, you have to do whatever it is that you do to clear a house, you need to do to that same area where there's a portal. Am I right?
Pretty much right. I mean, a lot of people, it's what people believe that protects them and takes their energy and casts at demonic or anything like that to get it away. You know, like somebody like Reverend Michael Schrader. I mean, he does exorcisms. We've been there. We've seen what he's done. And this guy really does do it. Now, I've done a lot of clearings. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a clearing, not this weekend, the weekend after, I think it is. And anyway, it's of a place that is very much well haunted. And, you know, we always tell a client, do not investigate on your own home. Once we have cleared it, let it go. Let it be. We've done our job. But this certain person decided, now, you know what? I'm going to put down a voice recorder. Are you still here? Can you hear me? And then they provoke. And the next thing you know, they have things going on. So you had something that was cleared, and then they bring it on through. I myself, I believe in the power of sage, of kinnikinnick, of sweetgrass and cedar and prayer. You know, that the Creator comes to help out. I mean, my daughter and I, one time were outside, and there was a certain prayer that I use, and I only use it if I really, really, really need to use it. And I just wanted to say it one time outside. I did, and Case was out having a smoke, and all of a sudden it was a lightning bolt from somewhere came out and took out a transformer not too far away. And she looked at me and she's like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "I'm going in. I'm not going to use that one again, because that is a very powerful prayer that the Creator was definitely listening on that one." And you know, some people may say, "Well, Creator, what exactly religion are you?" But take a look at it. Creator, God, Buddha, all those, they're all the same thing. It's just, to me, the Creator is what you would call them, the great mystery, because nobody knows who it is. Nobody knows if it's man, woman, if it's from the Middle East, or if it's from here. It's, you know, it's, now I'm getting kind of religious.
Yeah, let's get off this subject.
Yeah, but it's still, you know, some people, they just don't believe in such stuff. Okay, so what do we got here? Sounds fun. Ghost Valley, hence Ghosts in the Valley podcast. Al Cooley, host, in the studio now, taking a break, listening to another great show. Jerry, oh, you're the best, dude. Thank you so much. I have experienced clairaudience. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I wonder what an empath's aura looks like on an aura photo. That's funny you should say that, Steve. I was with Bobby Sullivan at the Aurapalooza over in South Minneapolis. Echo Bodine throws it. I think it's the third Saturday of every month, if I'm correct. And someone asked that question, you know, and Bobby knew them of them as being an empath. And what are you doing?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry.
Did you turn on the...
Sorry.
Yep, you have the show on. You got to turn off the volume of the show.
No. Sorry.
Okay, you did do it. You did do it.
If my,
Plug in your headphones.
My headset's not working. I'm sorry.
There you go.
No.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys. We're having some audio problems here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So anyway, so this person, Bobby had them up there and took a picture, and wow, their aura was absolutely fantastic. It was just so cool. What is, you know, Steph? Now I've got it in my headphones. What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You did something. Okay, see,
this is what happens when you have an empath.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know either.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, she's going to go in the other room here, and we'll see what happens.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, that's good.
Can everybody hear Steph? Can anybody say anything there that you can hear Steph or not? I can hear her in my headphones really well.
Okay. Maybe I just have to be in here.
Yeah, she went to the other room. She's sitting on the throne in the bathroom doing the show. Okay, I didn't hear you there, Steph. I just heard you yell. Anyway, so yeah, it was pretty amazing to see that. That would be cool to see. It really, really was, Dover. It was pretty amazing. Ghost Valley, I was just going to say animals. Animals aura is pretty unique itself. It's actually way different than humans. It's unbelievable. Let's see here now. Okay. Wow, something really went on here with the site. Humans scatter. That's right, Dave. They do. I live this is Dover. I live about a half hour from Gettysburg, and I can tell you there is a very somber feeling in the air, almost in the fabric of town. I believe that. Sage, tobacco, and prayer, Ghost Valley. Steve, my spray lasts an average of 2 weeks. Sometimes, if it is strong, there are many bad entities, then maybe a day. Awesome. Sherry, sometimes it can be a party with demons. Yeah, I wouldn't want to party with any demons. Thank you, Sherry. You can do that. Yeah, exactly. Ghost Valley, Native American Indians had it right with the great creator. It's true. We had an echo. That's true. More of Jerry to love.
Should be okay. You know what? I think there's something going on with my headset. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm in my normal spot when I do my shows now, so maybe it'll be better.
And the Ghost Kitty has just made her debut here on the calling after a very, very long absence. Hey, baby girl. All the joys of technology. Paranormal writer. Hey, buddy. Steph, you're known as the porcelain princess.
Yeah, I am not in the bathroom. Can I just say I'm in my little room where I usually do all my shows from. So
it's actually
all be
called
good.
the cat's room, which has the litter box right behind you.
Right. It works.
Okay, everything sounds good now. So it looks like we're doing good. So how you doing out there, Steph? How's the weather?
Oh, I'm doing great. Zoe's happy that I'm in here. You know, it's all good.
That's great. That's great. Okay, we're down to about 12 minutes left and everything.
My gosh, this went by so fast.
It has. It's like flying by.
Holy cow.
So, yeah. So anyway, we were talking about empaths. Now, Steph, what's one part of the paranormal that you miss the most?
I'm in the paranormal all the time, to be honest, you know, because when we're in the woods, we find, you know, we see spirits, we feel spirits.
Steph, you there? Your headset went again.
Yeah.
Wow, you need a new one just like I do.
I know. I think it's dead. So I'm just going to do this without it. So hopefully you can hear me okay like this.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay like this?
Oh, wow, you're loud, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with my headset. So, yeah, I think so because we run into paranormal all the time out in the field. I don't miss that, but what I do miss is the thrill of finding like an old historical building and then getting permission to do an investigation and then finding the cool stuff that we used to find all the time. Like I'm thinking about, for example, that sanatorium up in northern Minnesota. That was one of the ones that we really went for, and we found a lot. And of course, then there's Walcott Mills, but you know, Walcott Mills has actually gotten scary. You know, it's there's just too much bad things there.
You know, it's funny you should say that because the last time I went there with my investigators, George, Jeff, and new investigator at that time, Nicole, and we took a couple people there, and it was the first time I've ever seen fear in Jeff's eyes, and he actually stopped and he said, "Dude, we weren't even to one of the buildings yet. He said, it just doesn't feel right, man. I said, I know. I thought it was just me. I wasn't going to say anything. And he said, yeah, this is not feeling good. I said, what, you want to keep going on? He goes, if you want to quit, I'm for it. I said, well, we got people with. And now I'm injured, so I can't really walk that well. And I said, you want me to take point? And he said, yes. It's like, okay, I'll do it. I'll take it, So I did. And we headed out. We got up there and stuff. When I got to the top, I did take out the tobacco, and I left tobacco, and I let the creator know why we're here and that we're not there to harm anything whatsoever. When we got into one of the buildings, it was incredibly active. I mean, K2 meter crazy. There's no electricity there. It was nuts. You could hear somebody walking up and down the hallway. Steph, leave your computer alone. It was just such a funny thing. But then when we were actually seeing something, it felt like there was somebody out and around the building. Something, not somebody. And at one point, we did see something rather large run in front. We did get video of it. I have not seen it yet, and I'm hope to see it soon. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was big and gray. And I do carry. I have I do carry a handgun. I have a permit to carry, and that was out. To be honest, it was that intense inside there, because I didn't know what we were messing with. If it was Bigfoot, I would have never done anything. But Dogman or something, yeah, I'd probably shoot it. Sorry, Steph.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way it is. Okay, Steve B. I believe it's best not to mess with anything messing with deviation like pendulums. Yeah, Sherry said my pendulum is a sentient. I just don't believe in them. I don't think there's enough yet to really know about them. People just think, oh my God, they're so cool. Well, a lot of people think that a planchette is so cool, and it's not. In my words, my opinion, again, the skeptical guy. And just, Steph, just kind of put it back to you again for a second. You said that you deal with the paranormal when you're out there with Bigfoot. So do you think Bigfoot is more paranormal than supernatural? Steph, you there? Okay,
it's probably more supernatural than paranormal.
Yeah.
Well, the term paranormal is something beyond the normal, but I don't think Bigfoot is not normal. I think he's of the supernatural, right? I think there's a difference between those two words.
Yeah, that possibly could be that. That could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think supernatural is more concentrating on the spiritual side of things and, maybe the nature side of things, where paranormal is something that's, abnormal. I mean, when we talk about paranormal, we talk about spirits, true, but we talk about ghosts. And, the difference between ghosts and spirits are ghosts are really, they're stuck on this side of the veil for some reason, even though they're gone, and they don't believe they're gone, correct? And spirits can come back. Ghosts are tethered to the earth for some reason.
Right. No, I definitely believe that too. Dover, yeah, cryptids, that's the same thing. Bigfoot, all those other ones, they're cryptids, but they're all still part of the supernatural. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to UFOs, just out of curiosity, Steph, I know that Lauren Coleman, if you asked him about UFOs and Bigfoot, he would just say, next question. What do you think?
I don't believe, in my mind, Bigfoot has nothing to do with UFOs. But let's talk about UFOs. UFOs are unidentified flying objects. So they could be anything in the sky. They don't have to be alien generated. They don't have to be from another planet. When we're many times in the field at night, if we're close to Bigfoot and we have things that are happening, we see orbs and lights in the sky. And I'm not talking flying saucers. I'm talking about small lights in the sky that look like orbs that are lights. And we see them in different colors. We've actually got them on film from one of our very first expeditions way up north. You know, they say that some people feel that Bigfoot can manifest somehow through these orbs. I don't know if that's true, but, you know, in the paranormal field, we feel like if they're true orbs, they're not ghosts themselves, but they're indicative that there is paranormal activity. So, sure, why aren't these other lights that we're seeing with Bigfoot, they indicate that there is Bigfoot or something like him around, maybe another cryptid. But we don't know. There's just so much that we don't know in this field, right? We don't know. But they're flying lights. So they're not flying saucers. They're unidentified something flying in the air, but I don't believe they're alien at all.
Yep. You know, Dave just made a good point. Once upon a time, pandas were considered cryptids. That is true. Now, Dover's asking, what is more scary, that there are aliens out there or that we are truly alone? You know, I believe, I've seen UFOs. When I was a kid, we've seen UFOs, and it was proven things that were the next day it'd be in the newspaper because they grabbed a photo of it or something like that, when it comes to when it comes to that. But who's to say? I mean, I never seen an alien. So UFO, could it have been a drone from outside of our planet zone? Could it be? It could be. It actually, the scientists have now taken the universe and cut it into fours. And what I mean by that is that certain types, shapes, and colors of UFOs come from certain different areas. So could it be, different planets out there that are looking at us? It could be. Could it be also, too, that Bigfoot, I believe he is an interdimensional being. Could it be that these UFOs, be it manned or unmanned, actually find their way through the same portals or the same ways that Bigfoot travels? What's your thoughts on that stuff?
I think that, I don't know. I don't know how to say that. There's so many people who believe in UFOs. I definitely believe that we're not the only ones in the universe. I believe there are other creatures out there. There are other advanced civilizations. Some people, like the Native Americans, believe that we all came from aliens. I mean, they called, the northern North America was called Turtle Island. How would they know that it was shaped like a turtle unless that's what they came from? So I don't know what the answer is to that. I can't imagine that they would, come to us in different dimensions, because I think that's kind of a purely supernatural thing, and I don't think that's alien involved. Personally, my own opinion. But for sure, there are other beings in the galaxy. I mean, you know what? There's baby Yodas out there.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I just want to say this real quick to Steve B. It's Lauren Coleman, not Norm Coleman. I actually called him that once too, and he corrected me right away. Somebody asked him that question about was the government ever tell him not to talk about UFOs? He's like, I believe in UFOs. No, I just don't believe that there's a connection between UFOs and Bigfoot.
Right.
Baby Groots, you never know. Okay, guys, I know this one. Yeah, it's time to go, guys. It's, wow, there's so many things we could talk about. But thank you all so much for being on, and we'll see you guys next week. And Kimberly, I'm sure we'll be back next week. Steph, thank you so much for coming on. We had a great time. Sarge, you're the best. And when it comes to the paranormal shows, Para-X, you're the greatest. Thank you all, and to all the troops listening, God bless you all. Everybody have a nice night, and we'll see you next week.
Night, everyone.